I wanted to just do a quick presentation on General Motors in the past couple of years, because I think it's really important to talk about what the company as a whole has gone through, obviously with the bankruptcy and restructure, in order to really figure out why now we're so focused on social media and how it's been able to work for us. So, just taking it back a little bit, so a couple years back, obviously we filed for bankruptcy, as you all know. There was a huge restructure, and so I think the company as a whole had to take a moment and sit back and say, oh, there's obviously a lot of issues. We have to take a pause and really figure out what are we going to do to improve brand perception. Because at the time we were dealing with tons of stereotypes, not your daddy's Buick kind of thing. And also we were being highly scrutinized with the budgets that we were given. Obviously, just making sure that we weren't wasting funds that were given to us. Gone were the days of $5,000, $10,000, sponsorships for, different conferences and luncheons and dinners. They really wanted to improve brand perception by going directly to the consumer. And so how were they going to accomplish that? They decided as a company that they were going to focus on grassroots activations. How were they going to change brand perception? Was by actually giving the customer, the consumer, an experience in the vehicle in order to change their perception. So that was the birth of our whole grassroots campaign, and what's been a good majority of what we've been doing for the past year or so. So when General Motors approached their agencies, including mine, they were like, okay, we really want to target South Florida market. How are we going to change their opinions about our vehicles? Obviously, as you all know, Miami specifically, I think it's over 70% foreign and leasing market, so we had a huge challenge there. And they were like, we want to get butts and seats. We want people behind our cars, we want them driving it, we want them experiencing it, and how are we going to, make that happen? So we got together with our team, and we were taking a look at what was happening in the market, and we said, okay, at the time I had just started Twitter. It was like 2009 or so. Highly active in Facebook and very active in the social media community in South Florida. Part of it was for personal reasons, because I also write a local blog, but it was also because of my career-wise, because social media is the future of public relations. So we started to think and really, you know what, I haven't moved this along. I don't know how to move it to the next slide. Doesn't matter, I guess. Just here. Just do enter. Oh, there we go. All right, so we're past that. Okay, so how are we going to get butts in seats and get people motivated about the vehicles? And so we decided to pair grassroots with social media, because here was this community in South Florida that was already talking, already getting together, already finding things in common, and already you could just sense that there was a need there for them to get together. And so in our process of really just daily monitoring things like Twitter feeds and Facebook and what were the local community talking about, we stumbled across a brand ambassador of ours, and we decided that we were going to reach out to a local South Florida blogger, and his name is actually Craig Agronoff. It's at LAPP, and he happens to write about pizza. How many people here like pizza? Okay, perfect. Turns out a lot of people in South Florida love pizza. Turns out Craig has a couple thousand followers on Twitter, and he's a pretty dynamic character, and he had already been very successful in the social media scene because he had been hosting pizza tweet-ups for about a couple months now, and I had been to one, and it was like incredible how he could put out an invite for a tweet-up for pizza, and 50 to 75 people would just show up at a restaurant. So when we started thinking about it and talking to Craig, we're like, hey Craig, how would you feel about taking your idea on the road? And instead of just doing a pizza tweet up at one location, we invite a group of 30 people, we bring cars, all Chevys, Traverse, Equinox, Camaro, Corvette, and we invite them on a whole day excursion of pizza tweet ups, but now we labeled it the Chevy Pizza Crawl. And he got back to us, he was like, oh my God, you guys are genius. I love the idea, because not only is it work helping you, it's helping me, because now I have a big brand behind me, excuse me, and this is something I'm already invested in. We're working with local businesses, and they're getting in on it because they're getting promotion out of it. And we have 20 to 30 of the most influential people on Twitter, some more than others, but Toby's been on one of our crawls, so there you go. Very influential people that are coming together to talk about our product, have a good time. It's non-intrusive. It's a contest that he did on his website to engage people and say, leave me comments here and tell me why you should be chosen for the Chevy Pizza Crawl. We got all kinds of comments like, American cars and pizza, what could be better than that? And it was just a very easy and organic way of getting these people really interested in coming out to experience our cars. So that to me has been the best example of grassroots paired with social media, because when you think of traditional PR, you think, okay, you're spokesperson, right? You're a brand ambassador. So instead of going out for an expert, well, I guess Craig could be an expert of pizza, but we didn't pay him anything. But media trained him somewhat, but he had already been a brand ambassador to begin with because his dad, I think, worked for a Buick dealer back in the day. So when I said General Motors, he was like, oh yes, this is perfect. So it was already, a natural fit. And he became our brand ambassador. And, we were able to work out a relationship with him where it would be beneficial for both him and his website, worstpizza.com, and also our goal of getting butts and seats. And the client loved it. They were very pleased with all the results. It's almost become somewhat of a cult following now. We get daily requests of people asking us, when is the next Chevy Pizza Crawl going to be? How can they get involved? It's great for the local community because we involve local businesses, mom and pop shops. We don't go to Papa John's we got to go to Anthony's though.
Yes, absolutely.
We're going to go to Anthony's, but it's mom and pop shops, and he picks them all out, and we work something out with the business, whether we pay for the pizza or they donate it. We figure something out, and again, it's very low cost and effective because our resources are the vehicles. So that's what the client, obviously General Motors, says this is great because we're getting all this buzz on Twitter and Facebook, on our websites, on on Foursquare, all these different social networks that is valuable, just valuable impressions there. So that's really been, I think, our formula for success in terms of picking a brand ambassador within the social media community and figuring out, what can we do that will benefit that person or that blog or that community, but also, check off our list in terms of what we want in terms of return on investment.